Hi team, we are here today talking about the mid-quarter convention for MACRS depreciation. Remember that you'll use the mid-quarter convention if more than 40% of the assets you've placed in service during the year were placed in service during fourth quarter. So I have a separate video that discusses mid-quarter versus half year, so if you're interested in that, go watch that and then come back. So for our example, we have a company place the following assets in service during 2022. In quarter one, they placed an asset in service for $34,000. In quarter three, they had a $57,000 asset, and then in quarter four, they have a $1 million asset. So we're going to calculate the depreciation for 2022, which is the first year that they placed the assets in service, and then we're going to calculate depreciation for 2025, so a couple of years later. So if we jump back to this first one, quarter one, we're going to focus on this quarter one asset. So it was placed in service on January 20th. It has a cost of $34,000 and it's a 5-year life asset. So I'm going to jump over to the tables, and you can see that I have highlighted these table headers. So the tables are included in publication 946. They have been the same for many years, but you just check every year if there have been any changes to the depreciation tables. They don't change very often. And the first one you'll often see is this half-year convention table. So you'll need to scroll down a little bit, and you'll see the first one is the mid-quarter convention, placed in service first quarter. So you're going to use this for assets that were placed in service first quarter. And then you'll see, of course, the next one is placed in service second quarter, and then the third one is placed in service third quarter, and then the last one is placed in service fourth quarter. So we're going to jump to this first one, which is mid-quarter convention, placed in service first quarter. And if you just remember from our example, this is a first quarter asset, and it has a 5-year life, and we're looking at the first year of depreciation. So they were placed in service in 2022. We're calculating depreciation for 2022. So it's the first year of the depreciable life, and it's a 5-year asset. So those are the two pieces of information you need to know. So we're looking right here at year 1, 2022, and then we're in this column, 5-year. So that means we're going to be looking at this number right here, 35%. So we're going to plug this in over here. So 0.35, 35%. And I have this set up to calculate automatically, but you can see you're just going to take the cost times the percentage that you pulled from the table. So our current year depreciation will be $11,900, which is the cost, $34,000 times the 35%. So then we'll move on to the quarter 3 asset. And again, we're still in the first year, 2022, so year 1. And this is also a 5-year asset. So let's go find that quarter 3 asset, or quarter 3 table. So this is mid-quarter convention, placed in service third quarter. So again, we're here in year 1. We are still with a 5-year asset. So this is going to be 15%. So we're going to come over here and plug in 15%. And again, this is auto-calculating, but it's just taking the cost, $57,000 times the 15%, and that gives us $85.50. And then the last one is this asset that was placed in service in quarter 4 in October. It was a $1 million asset, and it has a 7-year life. So we're going to pop over here, and we're going to find that fourth quarter table. So this is placed in service fourth quarter. Again, we're still hanging out here in year 1, but this time we're in a 7-year asset. And you can see the depreciation is significantly lower for the fourth quarter because you're not going to be allowed to take as much depreciation for something that was placed in service at the end of the year. So for a 7-year asset, it's 3.57%. So this is going to be 0.0357. So 3.57%. And again, it's auto-calculating, so $1 million cost times the table percentage gives us current year depreciation of $35,700. And then this is just a total of all of these 3 assets to get your total for the whole year. So $56,150 would be total current year depreciation on your tax form. Okay, so now let's do depreciation for 2025. So these assets were placed in service in a year that made them mid-quarter assets, right, because of this big asset here. So because they're mid-quarter assets this year in 2022, they will always be mid-quarter assets. So once you're a mid-quarter asset, you are always a mid-quarter asset. So we will always use the mid-quarter tables for these assets. So now we're going to look at 2025, and we're going to do this $34,000 asset, so placed in service first quarter, and a 5-year life. So for 2025, it's kind of a lot to remember, but we're going to do it. So we're going to pop back over here. We're going to go back to the first quarter table. So this is mid-quarter, first quarter. Let's see if we can really quickly erase this highlight. There we go. Okay, so we're mid-quarter, first quarter, and now, so the assets were placed in service in 2022. That's year 1. Then we have 2023, 2024, 2025. So we're in year 4 of depreciation. That is not really intuitive for a lot of people, that the difference between 2025 and 2022 would be the 4th year of depreciation, but it is. So 2022 is placed in service and we're doing 2025. So physically count it out on the table. That's the best way. So 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025. Okay, so we're looking at 2025 and a 5-year asset. So 2025 5-year asset, so this gives us 11.01%. So this is going to be 0.1101. Again, this is just set up to multiply across. And then we're going to do the same thing for the next one. So quarter 3, so let's go ahead and scroll down to find our third quarter mid-quarter table. And we'll just really quickly erase our old number. We're moving on from that. Or we won't erase it. We'll just leave it right there. So that's totally fine. We're just going to count down years, same as we did before. So we started in 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025. So now we're on 2025. So 2022, 23, 24, 25. So we'll be right here. So 12.24. So this will be 0.1224. Again, that's just multiplying across. You can see those two numbers there. And then the last one is our $1 million asset, 4th quarter, 7-year. So if we pop over here, this is going to be the 4th quarter, will be 7-year. So same thing. So 2022, 23, 24, 25. Whoops, too many things. Here we go. 22, 23, 24, 25. Okay, so 4th year of recovery, 7-year asset, 1406. So this is going to be 0.1406. And again, it's just multiplying the cost times the table percentage. Then you'll add them all together to come up with your total depreciation for the year. So total for 2025 is $151,320.20. All right, team, that takes us through the mid-quarter convention.